this is arguably the central challenge of our time here in Washington.
Senator Pat Toomey from Pennsylvania joins the Heritage Foundation to discuss sequestration, budget, and spending. So we appreciate you coming today.
Thanks for having me.
So I have to ask you off the bat, you joined Senator Rand Paul's filibuster, his 13-hour-long filibuster. Are you a bit tired today?
I am a bit tired.
Are
We
you?
didn't finish up till about 1 o'clock last night. But I just want to give a lot of credit to Senator Paul for putting the attention, for putting a bright spotlight on a really important and legitimate issue. I mean, he's got a simple but very important question that he has posed to the administration. Now, it happens to be in the context of the confirmation of John Brennan as CIA director. But it's a broader question than that. And the question is simply, does this administration believe that it has the right to, in this case, use drones to kill American citizens on American soil when they're non-combatants and there is no imminent threat of any kind of violence coming from these people? The fact that the administration refuses to acknowledge that limitation on their power is telling, and it's disturbing. And so Senator Paul is simply asking them to give a straight answer to the question, and I happen to think he's right to demand an answer.
And you joined Senator Paul not once but twice during the 13-hour filibuster yesterday, reiterating that exact point, saying that we need a call for more robust debates on the system. How would you frame that?
Well, you know, I think it would start with the administration answering what they think the Constitution authorizes them to do. And then let's have a debate about that. Do we agree, first of all? If not, where do we disagree? Is there maybe, do we all agree? Does it require legislation? I mean, I think the logical starting point is actually where Senator Paul has started it, which is to ask a simple question. These people, after all, are deploying these weapons every day around the world. It's reasonable to ask the question, do they believe they have the authority to deploy them here in the United States? And when they won't give a straightforward answer, then I think it's our obligation in Congress to demand an answer.
Switching gears for a little bit, we mentioned that you're speaking at Heritage soon about some of the things that we're hearing a lot about lately in economics, budget cuts, taxes, sequestration. Where do you think the emphasis should be?
We're having a series of big debates, and they have you know, different names, and there are different particular circumstances, but all of them have the same theme, which is a big fight over spending. And it's a really, really important fight, and that's what I want to talk about, why this is important, that we fight every one of these battles, whether it's the sequester, the continuing resolution, a debt limit, a budget resolution, appropriation bills. The process goes on and on. But I think this is arguably the central challenge of our time here in Washington and in the federal government. We have a government that's spending, for which spending is out of control. We have a party that wants to spend even more still. And we have to be totally engaged in this at every level.
So why focus on tax cuts and sequestration? Why be afraid to cut spending across the board when Washington very obviously has such a spending problem?
Well, I believe that the government is already too big, does too many things it shouldn't be doing, and spends a lot of money that it shouldn't be spending. But the other side really thinks the government should be doing much more, and that the American economy and American society requires an even bigger government. So for them, it's very hard to acknowledge that, oh, maybe we could cut back in some places. That kind of runs contrary to their basic narrative. So, you know, I think they're wrong about this. We've got to have this debate, and as Margaret Thatcher used to say, you know, first you win the argument, then you win the vote.
Right. President Obama also recently shut down East Wing self-led tours in the White House as sort of a see what happens result of sequestration. Do you think there's any substance to that?
None whatsoever. Honestly, I think it really makes the president look petty. I mean, who thinks that that saves any kind of money? It doesn't. I think the American people know there's a tremendous amount of waste in places where you can actually make real savings. That's not really one of them.
Certainly. So we appreciate you joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
And for the Heritage Foundation, I'm Jackie Anderson.